So what happens after this storm moves off the coast? We continue to get a lot of cold air moving down into the southeast. You can see this continued northwesterly flow. And when you get cold air headed down there towards the western Atlantic and the Gulf, there's always the opportunity for a storm system to form along that baroclinic boundary, run up the coast, run through the Ohio Valley. Again, and I've been saying this in my live videos, I really like this region out here, at least through the first half of February, maybe through the whole month of February. We're going to have cold air diving out here. We may have a little bit of an active subtropical jet. So 1 or 2 major snowstorms could still be on the table for the Ohio Valley, maybe the southeast, maybe the east coast, New England, the mid-Atlantic. Now, where do I expect the most frequent snowstorms to happen? I think we're going to get a lot of clippers up here through portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. So frequency of snowstorms here. If we're going to get a big snowstorm, I think it's going to be somewhere out here. But you can see what's happening in the short range or the short to medium range here. And I think we're going to see more of this as we move through February. We could see a little bit of a thaw out as we get into mid-February, and we could potentially see a big snowstorm try to move through the Rockies towards the upper Midwest. I think we're going to get a little bit of warm air back into the east somewhere in the middle of February. But right now, most of the models just see a negative AO, a negative NAO, a positive PNA. So ridging out west, warm air out west, dry conditions out west, and cold and wet conditions out east. So snowy conditions. Pushing through this weekend, like I said, the cold air continues, some clippers through the upper Midwest. We're getting a pretty good funnel of moisture up into the Pacific Northwest here, mostly western or coastal Washington. Low elevation rain, high elevation snow. But then we get into the middle of next week and we're just dry and above average out there. But look what happens here. We get another storm system forming potentially down here in the Ohio Valley as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday. I think this may end up being a little bit more impressive than it is on the models. I think it was the last video I said to watch this area. I think we may see a little bit more snow here, a more significant winter storm, maybe even some severe weather with this to the south. We're talking about 120 to 150 hours here. Let's wait a couple days, see how this progresses, but more of the same. Cold air, snow out to the east, dry conditions, warm air out to the west in the 7 to 10 day forecast here.